Thank you. Thank you again, Mar. Now we'll open up the floor for question and answers for her as well. So if anybody has questions. Thank you. Question up here.
Very nice presentation, by the way. I really enjoyed it. How many languages do you speak?
I look like I should speak more than I do. Unfortunately, I don't speak any Asian languages. I speak German, English, French, and now I'm learning Portuguese.
Sie sprechen fließend Deutsch?
Ja, mein Vater kommt aus Deutschland.
Ah, wunderbar. Okay. Sehr gut.
Das ist quite a
Ich
few.
spreche auch. Ja. Okay.
Amazing. All right. Any other questions?
It seems to be that there's a theme running through the speakers this morning related to coaching. And I think there's a lot of young people who have an aspiration to be of service in that way. And maybe you can talk, maybe some of the other people can maybe chime in too. Do you think that a young person can take on the job of coaching without having the kind of life experience that you've had or that Catherine's had? Or is that something that, you know, I'll just leave it at that and let you, and we're so glad to have you here. Welcome to our community. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Beautiful talk.
Thanks a lot. We were talking about it actually, about coaching, and I think you can only coach as much of you as you've integrated by yourself. So of course there are young people who've gone through a lot of stuff, so I'm not going to say, okay, you're young and you can't coach, but I feel like you can only give as much as you've integrated and really dealt with for yourself. So I don't think there's like a right time for things or a set time frame, but I think it's a process. So if you feel like that's something you want to do, look for people you can coach. I work with young people who are in their 20s who coach teenagers. You know, like there's always someone you can give to. Like life is about giving, so I do urge you to find that. But of course, to continue working on yourself, I think is key number one, because then you can progress in that.
Yeah, definitely. You can only help others once you help yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Great. Any other questions?
I've been wondering, you had mentioned that you were getting involved in things in Portugal, and I know that that's the cooperative capital of the world right now. I've been wondering about how small or big do cooperatives start to work and be effective, especially in a town that's isolated like we are. We could be doing a lot of things together that would be much bigger, and with your perspective, you could give us an idea of that.
Sure. I'm not an expert in the cooperatives movement. I have been involved in a few different things, but I would just say start off. Like, it's about making that first step, I feel, no matter what. Like, we can sit there planning, thinking, okay, we need these structures, but if we don't make the leap, we'll never get off our butts to do things. I feel like there's so much in the world and so much where we plan and think we need the perfect. That doesn't happen. I feel it's iterations. Like when we look at life or like things that we get involved in, we learn along the way. So I would say get that group together who wants to do it and start it. If it's a couple of you, go ahead. Like I know a lady, she started the first organic vegetable farm, and she was her and like another person. And now the cooperative has 1,500 members. You know, but she believed in her vision and she wanted to make that happen. So if there's something you believe in, or there's a bunch of people with you who believe in it, go and do it. Try it. And as you do that, I think there's a magnetism as you're really living what you want to live, and that attracts.
Great. Any other questions?
What do you think the future of the petrodollar is versus other currencies, community currencies, or cryptocurrencies? And I was hoping you could talk a little bit about the values of each, or lack of value.
Sure. There's no actual value to money. In the 70s, when it was decoupled from gold, there was no more value, let's say, to it. It's just a piece of paper, but it's the promissory note behind it. I don't think that we have a problem of money or lack in the world. It's about the means to exchange. It's about being able to exchange something with each other. When crises happen, for example, in Argentina with hyperinflation, they started inventing coupons and markets, and people continued. It's when crises happen that creativity happens. And this is what happened in the community I worked in. It was just creating their own currency, so they had a means to exchange with each other when they didn't have, let's say, access to the national currency at the time. So I don't think I want to say I have a view that this currency is going to go up, but this is going to go down. But I do encourage us to look at community values as the world goes into whatever is happening at the moment. Look at your community. Look at what you can build together. Look at where you see value. And I really believe that it's not about one. So as I was studying this, we look at nature. It's diverse. There's many different plants, many different species, and that's how it survives. And I believe that we need diversity. So a diversity of currencies, if it's a local currency, a national currency, cryptocurrencies, whatever it is. But let's just keep circulation happening. Money only has value when it swaps hands. It doesn't have value when you hold it. So if you're able to exchange more in your community, that means everyone gets more abundant. It's not about hoarding it, but it's about bringing that into flow so that everyone can be part of it.
That's beautiful. That's great. Any other questions?
I find myself kind of hating how a lot of things are free now. I can get a lot of education and training and things on YouTube, and what I hate about it is not that it's free at all, it's that I don't know how to give value. I actually gave someone €150 through so many transaction fees that's what it took to end up being $1 or something for a YouTube video, because I've just stuck on this on-demand mentality. I want to give value. So my question is, what is a model you have seen or experience you could share on giving value in the apparent absence of tangible currency?
I don't know if I've necessarily seen a model. I know a lot of people are studying at the moment the gift economy. For example, just being able to gift what you think and not asking for anything. I mean, it would be amazing if we could live in a gift, if all of us could just be giving. But we're not there yet. But I think something very important that you're bringing is around value, because I believe that the issue is not money, and a lot of the work I've done in workshops and coaching, it's about our own value. It starts with ourselves. So where do you see your own value, and then where can you value others through that? It's never been a lack of money. That's what I've seen, but it's been a lack of personal value and asking for what you want or putting yourself out there. So I urge the inner work, that's so important, because the outer world is a reflection of that. So I really believe that work starts from there. So.
Thank you.
Thank you. Amazing. I heard that when you came
We can speak after.
yesterday that you learned TM
Yeah.
yesterday. Could you tell us a little bit about your experience or kind of what brought you to that point?
Of course. I loved it.
Great.
I'm so happy to be here, and Rachel taught me. I don't know if Rachel's here, but it was really, really incredible. And I rung up my partner, and I was like, guess what? I learned TM, and he's like, I wanted to do it too. How did you get to do it first? I'm like, So I'm definitely going to take that tool with me and to continue my journey with that. So like you said, Catherine, adding to my toolbox, I think that will be one of them. So thanks a lot for
Awesome.
having me here.
Awesome. Yeah, we're really glad to have you. Again, thank you so much.
Thanks.
It was an honor. Thank you.
Stay right there.